Good evening, friends, and welcome to the third session on the tFileInputDelimited component, and maybe the final session on the delimited component. So, for this session, I've kind of created a very different kind of a file. Maybe the file looks something like this one. So this is my file, James, and then there's a date, and then there's another name, Bill, and then there's a date, third name, Lyndon, and then a date, Jimmy, and a date, and Chester, and a date. So this is basically a file, a delimited file with control characters. So what actually the control characters are in this file, they are like stx and etx. STX stands for start of text and ETX stands for end of text. So by just googling it and checking the Wikipedia pages, you'll get to understand what a control character is and how where they are used and how they originated. It is basically a non-printable character. In our case, we are using them as a delimiter. So any file that would have an stx and etx as the delimiter and the row separator, it would look something like this. How would you read this file? So this is like one of the difficult questions, wherein people tend to ask you, how would you read such files? So over here there's no schema defined, but these characters, they do define the schema. The other thing is, like, how do you print these, or how do you create these files? So for demo purpose, I just created the file by copying these symbols. So stx is like shift control B, that's stx, and then some text, txt, text, and then some spaces, and then if I want to introduce an end of text character, it would be shift control and C. So that's like start of text and end of text. So for now, I'll just be using this file, and I'll just help you understand how did I configure this component. So coming to the Talent Studio over here, this is my control character file metadata that I've defined. Remember the first session in which we talked about the repository, the metadata being stored in the repository and the metadata being stored in the component, and the difference about that. So this is like a repository, and anything that gets stored in the component would be built-in. The advantages and disadvantages of this I talked about in my second session, the link of which I've kept in the description box. So you can refer those links and understand the difference between the repository and the built-in. So I'll just open up this connection, and so this is the name of the connection. It's control character file. Going to the next setting, I've just put in the file name in here, and the file viewer, it shows you the file in the stream format. So this is like a real difficult scenario that we would be addressing. So how would you break this stream into a particular structured file? So I click on next, and over here I've used couple of options which the studio gives you. The field separator is like custom ANSI that I'm using, and I have put in something over here. So you guys won't be able to see this. It's basically I've copied the text, the start of text character from the notepad file, and pasted it as my field separator over here. And the row separator is this character, which is my end of text, which is again I've copied and pasted. I did a refresh preview, and then I was able to kind of create a structure around this file. So this is like, it would ask you, would you want to propagate the changes or the modifications to all the jobs that is using this metadata If you click on yes, it would get propagated. I'll better stay away from it. I'll click no. And this is like my configuration of the delimited component, and over here I'm kind of printing everything that comes in. So I'll just quickly run this job. So there you go. Sorry. So all the records are getting printed, and I have kind of created a structure around this. So that's it for this video. Thank you.